Good morning. Welcome to Sunday. From the National Weather Service in Pocatello, I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith with another weather hazard briefing. Monsoon moisture on the way, our subtitle today. We've got a big pattern change to talk about here in the forecast, so let's dive into what we're looking at here. Key points, this is really a tale of two weather patterns. So as we all know, we've been in this really hot, dry, at times breezy weather pattern across most of southeast Idaho for a week or more, with red flag warnings on the fire weather front. Really kind of a stagnant pattern that's been in place courtesy of a few factors, including high pressure to our south. We're not quite out of the woods yet. We're getting close, but we're not quite rid of this pattern yet, for better or for worse. We do have another red flag warning in effect for several zones today. I'll show you that graphically here in just a moment. That hot, dry, breezy weather, those conditions do hold on, but they do start to weaken as we go into Monday and Tuesday. I would consider these transition days between the two weather patterns that we're looking at here in the forecast over the course of the week. Increasing confidence, increasing signals in the models that monsoon moisture from the desert southwest is on the way northward. We're expecting moisture, showers, thunderstorms to increase and expand in coverage each day starting Monday across at least parts of our forecast area. So again, Monday, Tuesday, transition days. Wednesday, Thursday this coming week continue to look like the wettest conditions. Certainly cooler temperatures out there. We'll look at that. Maybe some localized heavy rain and flooding as well. A lot to still work out with this. A lot of details we still need to pin down as the data continues to flow in here over the next few days. But this is going to be a pattern where some of these thunderstorms may be quite wet, and we'll be watching for that heavy rain and flooding potential. Again, especially as we get into those wetter days on Wednesday and Thursday this coming week. Weather risk outlook here, looking day by day for the next 5 days, breaking it down by geographic area. A little bit of red on the map today here for Sunday. That is due to red flag warnings that are in effect. Again, promise, I'll show you in just a moment that graphically. Breezy, dry conditions in those areas. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm today up in the Lemhi County area. There's actually a few echoes on radar this morning if you happen to be checking your favorite radar app. A lot of that not reaching the ground. Again, we're still in this dry air mass where we may have some clouds out there. We may have some virga. That's that phenomenon where you do get some precipitation trying to fall out of the clouds, but it can't quite reach the ground. It evaporates before it gets down to where we all live and work due to that dry air. Now, as we go into Monday, breezy conditions continue kind of in the same areas, the Central Mountains spilling out into portions of the Snake Plain. Just a little bit better than what we're seeing today. And by better, I mean a little bit lighter for those wind speeds. And we start to bring in just a touch of moisture. Again, we're entering that transition period. You can see these 2 days that have a lot of yellow on them. This is our transition between air masses. Scattered thunderstorms working into the southeast highlands on Monday, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two up into the Island Park or Driggs area as well. As we head into Tuesday, we expand those thunderstorms just a bit to include more of the southern highlands, possibly as far west as Oakley and Rockland as well. Might see a little bit of heavy rainfall potential starting to sneak into the southeast highlands. And then Wednesday, Thursday, here comes the wetter days. Locally heavy rainfall with some of these storms and widespread shower and thunderstorm activity as we really see that monsoon moisture arrive in earnest. Satellite loop this morning, not too remarkable. Again, we do, just like yesterday, we do have some mid-level clouds, some higher-level clouds streaming through the area, a few radar echoes under that as well, but most areas not seeing anything reaching the ground. So in general, most of you across southeast Idaho are going to see another dry day today. Here's the red flag warning. We've added in zone 410. These zones aren't going to make sense to some of you, but for our fire weather partners who do look at this, as fire weather zone 410 here across portions of the central and upper Snake Plain is now in the red flag warning for this afternoon and this evening, as well as zones 475 and 476 across a good chunk of the central mountains. Again, gusty winds and low relative humidity both at play here today. Low temperatures as you head out this morning, very similar to what we've seen the last couple mornings. Not bad at all. Generally 50s for most of you, although from Pocatello westward, some locations seeing some 60s here as we start the day. High temperatures this afternoon. Remember, we're still in that hot, dry, breezy air mass. We're not quite into our pattern change yet. So still seeing 90s dominating across all of our lower elevation areas as we get into this afternoon. 92 for Chalice, 86 up in Stanley, a little bit more tolerable up there, as well as Island Park. 91 even down to Montpelier if you're headed down to Bear Lake. So not quite as bad as the Eastern Magic Valley, but still warm. Not too far off from readings that we would see for this time of year, late July here in southeast Idaho. Here's a quick look at, on the left, your minimum relative humidity values this afternoon. You can see those critical values below 15%, certainly across portions of Zone 410. We're looking at the Arco Desert, the Mud Lake area, into Craters of the Moon, and then the valleys up here, Mackay, Chalice, Salmon, Leodore, seeing values 10 to 15% or so at the lower elevations, relatively lower elevations up there. All of this supporting the red flag warning. Wind gusts over here on the right. Anywhere you see yellow, we're gusting over 30 miles an hour today. But even some of the darker blues, we're seeing at least 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts spilling down through the rest of the valleys here of the Central Mountains, and some of those 25 to 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts out into the Snake Plain and Arco Desert as well this afternoon and this evening. Okay, there's a lot of numbers on this graphic, but what I want to show you here is some trends to kind of set us up for the rest of the week here. So the main graphic over here on the left, this is our probability of precipitation. So when you hear us say things like, there's a 20% chance of thunderstorms today, that's the numbers you're seeing on this chart. So over here on the left, we've listed several cities that are in our forecast area, just to kind of give you a mix. Over here across the top, we're working out through today, actually Saturday, that's yesterday evening, but Sunday, today, into Monday, into Tuesday, into Wednesday, into Thursday. And as we get particularly out later in the chart here, Wednesday and Thursday, if you follow my cursor here toward the top of the chart, look at all these bright colors that are appearing for cities across southeast Idaho. Much higher numbers for our probability of precipitation. We're talking 30 to 40% chance of rain and thunderstorms just about everywhere. If you're in Driggs, if you're in Montpelier, Preston, Soda Springs, you see some of these green colors working in, 60% chance or higher of rain and thunderstorms moving in. So these are pretty high numbers when we get these working into our forecast. This is definitely, again, looking like our wetter period as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, but a few places seeing 10, 15, 20% chance, 30% chance of some rain showers and thunderstorms as early as Monday afternoon if you're across the Southeast Highlands, and then increasing again Tuesday and further on Wednesday. Over here on the right, forecast high temperatures. I believe we have the exact same cities. Yes, we do. Listed here on the left-hand side of the graphic, and these are the high temperatures looking out from today into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the next 7 days or so. And you can see the colors cool off here as we proceed, particularly by the time we get out here to Wednesday. We're looking at temperatures generally in the 70s for many locations across southeast Idaho, maybe a couple low 80s still for some of our bigger population centers like Pocatello, Idaho Falls, Du Bois, getting up there as well. Green. What does this green mean? If you're in Chalice, if you're in Driggs, if you're in Montpelier, Sun Valley, Ketchum, and you're seeing this green shading, look at these numbers, 60s. Currently, our official forecast for high temperatures by the time we get out later in the week may not even crack 70 degrees for your high temperature. That's because we've got that moisture, we've got increased cloud cover, and we've got that rather high chance of showers and thunderstorms out there each day, really cooling things off for us. So I know your mileage is going to vary here, particularly on the farming front, as far as whether the rain will be helpful or harmful to you. I know many of us are certainly looking forward to the slightly cooler temperatures after the heat that we've been seeing here for the past week and a half. Monday, again, a transition day, but the Weather Prediction Center, part of our agency, has gone ahead and shaded us with a outlook here for excessive rainfall down here across the south and east. Doesn't include the Idaho Falls and Pocatello area, but it's that monsoon moisture starting to inch up into the Bear Lake region and portions of Caribou and Bonneville counties. This is the start. This is the best areas on Monday where we may start to see some of those heavier downpours. Advancing to Tuesday, we're continuing to look in the south here where the moisture is pooling down across Bear Lake into the southern highlands. Again, these are our transition days where the moisture is working its way in, and certainly I'd expect to see the shading expand across portions of our forecast area for Wednesday and Thursday. So stay tuned as we monitor that. We'll wrap up here with, I want to show this graphic. This is, I know it's the whole country, but this is showing total precipitation, total rainfall added up over the next 7 days. So over the whole upcoming week, if we add up all of the rain we're seeing each day, you can see far eastern Idaho here, particularly to the east of I-15, a little bit up into Lemhi County and the far eastern central mountains as well, but particularly east of I-15, we're seeing blue to purple. And that's indicating that we're looking at 1 to possibly as high as 1.75 inches of rainfall. And keep in mind, this graphic is not focused on thunderstorms, okay? There's certainly going to be spots where we see those heavier thunderstorms with really heavy downpours. That's not really what this graphic is capturing. This is averaging out basically average widespread rainfall over the period. So the fact that we have values here over 1 inch, even though it's spread out over a several-day period, certainly speaks to the fact that we're bringing that moisture in, and we're potentially going to see some good wetting rainfall here for some areas over a several-day period. So, again, we'll continue to dig into all of this in the days ahead. We'll look at whether or not we have flood potential to worry about with some of this. Certainly stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated. That's it for your briefing this morning. As always, questions, comments, concerns, we're here 24/7. Feel free to reach out. Everybody have a safe and wonderful Sunday.